This is the RELX 2025 Full Body Zero Gravity Massage Chair, and the biggest surprise is how fast it takes the edge off real muscle fatigue. I lean back, lift my legs, and within a few minutes my shoulders and lower back let go in a way that feels close to a real hands-on session. I think of this as a full-body recovery tool for home. It is not a novelty recliner. It is built for people who sit long hours, people who train and need help between workouts, and anyone who carries stress in the neck, shoulders, or lower back. I fall into all three groups on different days. I work at a desk, I lift, and I am not great at remembering to stretch. A chair that is consistent and ready whenever I am has ended up doing more for me than an occasional appointment. The design matters because it shapes daily use. The chair has a smooth faux leather finish that feels nice on skin and clothing, and it does not trap heat the way cheaper materials sometimes do. The shape has a sweeping curve through the back that lines up well with the spine, and the base extends far enough to support the thighs and calves when you recline. It is a large piece of furniture. It takes real floor space, and it is heavy. I had to reorganize the room to give it breathing room, and once it is in place, you will not want to move it often. There are small wheels that help with the initial setup, and small touches around the edges make the space feel considered. There is a side pocket for a phone or the remote, a handy charging port, and soft accent lights that look good at night without being harsh. The cushioning is on the firm side in a supportive way. I never feel like I am sinking, and I also never feel sweaty even during a long session. Setup was straightforward. I rolled it into position, plugged it in, and ran the first session in less than half an hour. There is no guesswork when you sit down. The chair wakes, runs a quick body scan, and finds the height of my shoulders. That scan is not a gimmick. It means the rollers stop exactly where my neck begins instead of jamming into the back of my head, and it maps out how far to travel down toward my hips. The controls make sense after a couple of uses. There is a physical remote with dedicated buttons for the modes I use most, and a simple on-screen menu for tweaking intensity. I almost never dig into deep settings now. I pick a mode, adjust the strength, and go. The artificial intelligence voice control is surprisingly useful. When my arms are tucked into the airbags or I am too relaxed to reach for the remote, I can ask for zero gravity, change the air pressure, or switch modes. It sometimes misses a command if I have music playing through the speakers, but when the room is quiet it works. The core performance is what I came for. The rollers travel in a long path that follows the curve of the spine and then continues under the seat, so it can reach the glutes and the upper hamstrings. That extended reach is the difference between a back rub and a full back and hip massage. Pressure is adjustable across a wide range. On an easy day I set it low, and it feels like careful kneading. When my back is tight, high intensity digs in with enough force to break up knots without feeling jabby. According to the company, the rollers mimic about 95% of a human massage. I will never confuse it with a professional, but for a daily routine it gets surprisingly close. The airbags inflate and release around the shoulders, forearms, calves, and feet. They create that gentle squeeze and let go rhythm that helps circulation and makes the roller work feel more complete. There are 3 levels of air pressure. The highest level on the calves and feet can be a bit much for me after a long run, so I drop it down and it becomes perfect. The lower back heat is a star. Warmth comes on fast and stays even. In colder months or after a heavy workout, that heat loosens the muscles before the rollers really get to work, and I notice I need less intensity when the heat is on. Zero gravity is more than a novelty tilt. When my legs are level with or slightly above my heart, my lower back unweights, pressure comes off the spine, and the rollers feel more consistent from the shoulders through the hips. The deep yoga stretch mode surprised me. It uses the leg rest and backrest to gently pull the body in opposite directions. It is not aggressive. It is a slow, controlled lengthening that makes me feel taller when I get up. The foot massage is another highlight. It is not just a simple roller. There is a mix of rolling and kneading under the arches and heels that feels very close to hands, and the airbags across the top of the feet keep everything in contact, so the movement feels precise rather than buzzy. I have used it in a handful of real scenarios. After heavy deadlifts, I choose a program that focuses on the lower back and glutes, set the rollers to a higher strength, add heat, and let it run for a full cycle. By the time it ends, I get up without that stiff, careful walk I do when I am tight. On long desk days, I lean back into zero gravity, choose a gentler program that spends more time on the shoulders and neck, and play a podcast through the built-in speakers. The sound quality is not going to replace a good pair of headphones, but it is clear and warm enough for ambient music or spoken audio. Before bed, I sometimes run a short calming mode with low intensity and heat only. That one is almost like guided breathing for my back. It takes the effort out of winding down. One specific use case that became a habit is a mid-afternoon reset. I set a 15-minute mode that alternates between shoulder work and lower back kneading with light air pressure on the arms and zero gravity on. That short session does more for my focus than another coffee. I go back to the desk looser and more alert. On weekends, after a trail run, I raise the foot pressure to medium, let the calf airbag squeeze and release while the foot rollers knead, and I can feel the difference when I climb stairs later. It is the small, consistent wins that make it worth using every day. There are features here that actually make the experience better rather than just padding a list. The 12 automatic programs are not clones of each other. They vary the timing and the path of the rollers in ways that feel distinct, from slow and focused on the lumbar, to broader sweeps across the shoulders, to that stretching routine. I like that I can fine-tune each of them by changing intensity on the fly. The artificial intelligence voice control is practical when my hands are in the arm airbags. The built-in Bluetooth speakers give me a simple soundtrack without juggling extra gadgets. The side pocket and charger keep my phone off the floor. The ambient lights make the corner look intentionally cozy at night. The chair remembers my shoulder position from the scan during a session, so the rollers always land where they should. It is not perfect. It is large and will dominate a room, so measure and plan your layout. It is heavy, so pick your spot thoughtfully. There is a soft mechanical hum when the motors are working hard. It is not loud, but if you are very sensitive to noise, play some white noise through the speakers and it blends away. The full feature set can feel like a lot on day one. I needed a couple of sessions to learn which modes and intensities fit different aches. After that, I barely think about settings. Maintenance has been easy. A quick wipe keeps the faux leather clean, and the finish still looks new after months of regular use. There is a 3-year limited warranty, which I appreciate for something I plan to live with daily. Stepping back, this chair fits people who want a reliable, repeatable way to relax and recover at home. If you have limited space, or if you prefer a minimal chair with almost no settings, it might feel like more than you need. If you have room, and you want full body coverage that reaches from neck to thighs with heat and stretch built in, this has the combination of comfort, strength, and smart details that make me keep using it. The real value for me is consistency. It does not cancel stress from life, but it gives me a dependable reset button. I feel better after 10 to 20 minutes, and I do it more often because it is right here, ready whenever I am. You can find detailed information about the RELX 2025 Full Body Zero Gravity Massage Chair in the comments section. See you in the next video.